brought to you by Shawn Porter Promotions. Live from Los Angeles. It's time for the main event of the evening.
Steak too.
Yeah. How long you been doing this for a while, bro? Come on.
Too long.
You're actually the professional out of all three of us. It's you. You're the guy.
But even if you've done it once, I feel like it's like, all right, just turn my audio down before I click on YouTube to see if the stream is up. But here we are.
You never know. Sometimes you need to click on it to find out whether or not the audio is even up.
I guess.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Welterweight Podcast. Live today. Gonna finish up the lives for this week. Had a lot going on this week and weekend, Saturday specifically. A lot of fun I think we had in New York.
Yeah.
And you got down this week.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, for the Welterweight Podcast, that was one of the best weekends. Hey, we got a lot of love. Shout out to Sway, Horse, Bridge Business. No, we did that episode with him.
Yeah.
Brooklyn Blends. I got your jacket on right now, man. That was hey, LA. Hey, East Coast, West Coast wars right now on the Welterweight Podcast.
Hey, straight up.
Hey, well, they're literally 1A, 1B, and I don't know who is who, but that was a good time. That was epic. Carson, you should have been there.
I was watching a decent amount.
Yeah, I mean,
playing video games, had it on.
Oh yeah, because I ain't see you in the chat as much.
Yeah, I was chiming in from time to time.
Yeah, that was
if y'all
a good
don't
time.
know, if y'all don't know, go back and take a look at the barbershop episodes that we do. Yeah, I kind of explained it Saturday morning when we were there. Basically, what I want to do is just expose the communities that we're in, expose the people that we're around. And I think there's really no better way to do that than by going to a barbershop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at this, just kind of start everything off. I just started with the people that I'm connected to in these cities. Hey, can you get me to a shop? So it's really, we're not looking for a specific shop or a specific area or anything like that. We just want to go where we know the conversation is fun, is informative, and all those good things. So definitely, man, our Saturday barbershop pre-fight show was a really good show.
Yeah.
Shout out to Gary Russell Jr. He came in, he blessed the podcast. Dude called me in the morning, like 7:30 in the morning. Said, "Hey man, you up?" I said, "Man, who is this?" He said, "Sound like your breath still stank." I said, "Dude, who is this?" So he said he was gonna come through and bless the shop. I said, "We'll be up there about an hour and a half. Come up whenever." He said, "Man, I'm coming up, but I don't know if I'm gonna be there that long." We ended up doing almost 2 hours, if not 2 hours, and he was there the whole time. And like as we had said there, when you at the shop, you just all of a sudden you feel at home. All of a sudden you start walking out the door and you hear a conversation that you got input on, and it's like you end up staying a little longer. So we just really want to expose things, and what I want people to do is just go back, take a look at those episodes. We're gonna start clipping those episodes as well, and it's a lot of fun on there, and definitely with this episode. A lot of storytelling.
You don't have to. Gary doesn't need a lot of encouragement to tell stories and get fired up. Like,
no,
somebody would make one comment there, and they'd be like, and then all of a sudden, 15 minutes later, he was on something. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, I think me and Sean both had to draw him back a little bit. Like Gary will go off the chains real quick.
Love Gary and love Shushu. Bruce Carrington.
Yeah.
He's Bruce. Like he's one of the just like nicer, most genuine dudes. Like the few times I've run into him, and he's up there having a good time. Shows a lot of love to a lot of different fighters, and good dude.
Yeah.
What I like about Shushu is he's out to get it, and he has a path, and he's been around a lot of fighters for a very long time, and he's just always been motivated by fighters that he's seen, and then things that he's seen outside of the fighters that he knows personally. So a lot like me, that's how I was. I kind of used everybody else's experiences and said, all right, yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. And I just definitely, my dad was the main force pushing everything. But Shushu is a lot the same, where he's got a path and he's out to get it. And it's really only a matter of time. So, yeah, we had a good time.
Shushu also strikes me as a guy that's not, and to be fair, he's still young in the game, but he doesn't seem like, I'm trying to think, like closed-minded to certain things.
Carson, what's up, baby? What you doing here?
So I was in the middle of a sentence. Let me just complete my sentence if you don't mind.
Hold on,
But,
what you doing here?
Oh my God.
but I feel like Shushu is just like he's down to hang out. Like I feel like he's somebody like we were playing games at the house. Shushu seems like a guy he just come over to. He's down to just kind of hang out, which is cool.
I told Shushu because he's thinking about moving out to Vegas and say, yo, and I had been telling him this before he moved out. He would be coming out to Vegas, and I would just kind of run into him and say, hey, yo, how long you been here? Been here a couple of days. I said, listen, whenever you get here, you let me know. I don't want nothing from you. I just want to help you. You need to feel at home wherever you go, and you need people around that can help you with at any point in time if ever you need something. And so the last time I ran into him was at the Whole Foods, and I just said, I told him, I said, yo, didn't I tell
bar
you?
at Whole Foods.
Yeah, man. Carson's favorite spot.
Yeah.
Right, that's where that's where we linked that,
Absolutely.
I said, hey, what did I tell you last time I saw you? He said, yeah, you right. I said, the only reason why I'm telling you this is because this is what people did for me. And I'm giving you what people gave to me. So
Who were some of the guys that gave it to you?
Andre Dirrell. When we first started going to Vegas, Mickey Bay.
Cleveland's
there was a lot of guys from Cleveland that were out there. A lot of the guys didn't really make it to the quote unquote big time, but all of those guys from Cleveland definitely looked out for me and my dad. When I would go to Colorado Springs, I joined the church out there. Shout out to Pastor Lee. He was the one that kind of gave me that same conversation that I gave to Bruce, where I end up in Colorado Springs at the Olympic Training Center, and he comes into the training center just to have lunch, and he says, "Hey man, didn't I tell you when you in town to let me know?" He said, "I shouldn't have to wait till Sunday to find out that you're in town. Just let me know. I'm only here to help." And so that's what I do for Shushu. So yeah, he gonna be rocking out with us, and we'll make sure he's safe and he has some good times, and he's able to stay sane, because when you get so locked into boxing, sometimes it will drive you crazy. You need outlets, So I definitely want to be an outlet for that young man as well.
Yeah, we had a good time. Sean's looking out for a lot of young people. Hey, shout out to our guy Matt. He's 20 years old. Sean, like, this guy's story is mom's a doctor, dad's a doctor, two sisters are doctors. He
likes boxing.
He going opposite.
Okay.
Little Carson A. Merk. I can see Carson A. Merk being that guy in the family.
Too much.
But very good at what he does, Carson. Very good at what he does is covering the sport of boxing. 20 years old, has a bright future in it. Every time we go out to New York, I told him, man, I'll hit you up, man. You can put you in the right places, try to meet the right people. And how do you feel about him, Sean? He interviewed you.
He is finishing. Yeah, he is finishing school.
Yeah, they don't want his mom to get mad at me.
He looks so young. So I thought he was in high school.
I thought he was 14.
I thought he was in high school. So he's I think he's a junior in college.
Yeah.
But I was super happy to hear that. He does seem very determined and like he's got goals in mind. So I really like that about him. And when he told me that he was in school, and he said that he left school and either caught a train or he left school and he drove straight out just to make sure he had got there on time to be there for you and for the lives and for the podcast and everything. I said, man, I gotta have you on the show. So yeah, Matt, if you guys don't know him, go ahead and shout out his show that he does.
He got a media channel. I think it's Nabs Media, Boxing Media. I have to double check, honestly.
He's got good sound. He's got good sound, and he knows what he's talking about. Not saying he's a expert in boxing or anything like that, but he can talk that game.
Nabs Fight Media. Yeah, go check our guy out. NABZZ. Go check him out, man.
I can see in the comments the people they saying that the ladies did show off last night.
Stole the show.
They put on the show.
We want to start there?
Put on the show.
We want to just go into that?
Yeah. You want? I don't care. We can start wherever.
Doesn't matter to me.
Sean, before you got on, I asked Carson. Carson, I'm prepared for everything when Carson comes on. I said, I know how high you will go, but how low are we going? Because, you know, Carson could be like, well, you remember, you see the prelims, right? I'll be like, damn, Carson.
Yeah, I was kind of.
Hey, he hit me with about 4 or 5 of them. I was like, I got an input on this.
I was.
Hey, Carson, funny thing real quick. When you were making your exit, Ant and I never talked about it, but we both watched everything that had to do with boxing. Because of you.
And we don't cover it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you watch it and then come here and talk about who knows what, but
and then we don't even cover
it.
Yeah, I feel like it probably makes sense to start there, with the
they were first, right? Yeah, let's just go on order. They were first.
I'm trying to think if there was anything. I know you mentioned like how deep on the undercard. I don't think there was a ton that was super noteworthy on that one. Some good action fights though. I don't think any fight yesterday, really on any of the cards, where I was like, it's kind of boring. Obviously, we'll get more in detail on the other ones, but so we can go co-main, Alycia Baumgardner, Mikaela Mayer. The one thing I'll say up front, I was very confused as to why there was a narrative that the only way Alycia would win was by knockout. Mm-hmm. I understand
Who said that?
But that was the narrative. Everyone was like, "Oh, she has to stop her." Like, "Oh, she's got this power," and I was like, I didn't quite understand that. Maybe because Mikaela is known as like a more technical boxer.
She's
guess.
so good.
Yeah, she's Olympian.
Yep.
Yeah, but like we watched Alicia's last fight, and you were kind of saying she almost boxed too well. Like she should sit down on her punches more. She was moving, she was slipping shots, and so when that kept coming up, like, well, if she doesn't knock her out, she can't win. I was like, really? I think she's actually gonna outbox her, and that's exactly what happened. What do you think overall, SP?
Yeah, I mean, just let's speak to that real quick. A lot of times, you hear people saying so many, or you saying one thing about a fighter, and you start to believe it yourself. So maybe it was a situation where Coach Al and Mikaela and the team, they may have missed some things based on what the media was giving them, what based on what was being pushed out. I know that they are a studious bunch, but maybe they missed something while trying to prepare for Alycia, because Alycia comes out very quickly trying to establish her rhythm and trying to work from the outside. Started a little faster than Mikaela, and I'm not gonna lie, like I haven't watched Mikaela like super close, but it was mimicked multiple times that she starts slow.
About third round, she gets going. Third, fourth round.
And that's exactly what happened in this fight. But I like that Alycia came out and seemed like I feel like if Alycia fought the entire fight the way she fought the very first 2 rounds, the fight would have been way more entertaining than it was. It was a very good, entertaining fight. And I wrote this down. It was a really good fight, not great. It was a good boxing match, but not quite as scrappy as I think most of us thought it was going to be, especially when you take into account everything that was done outside of the ring. You just think that it's war from beginning to end. Sometimes that war ends up being a little different. Obviously, you have to reel all of that back into, okay, what do I need to do to be successful? So I thought it was a really good boxing match, and I thought that Baumgardner, she looked to be just a little more prepared than Mikaela did.
Baumgardner actually looked like the better boxer in the fight.
Yeah, I agree.
She took control early and got comfortable early, and I think that may have been Mikaela's mistake, letting her get comfortable. And she was moving around, landing the bigger shots. I think that was a big difference in the fight too. Don't get me wrong. Once Mikaela got going, the jabs was cleaner. They were there, but Mikaela was, when she had her moments, she took advantage of her moments. Combos, stepping to the side, stepping to the right, big shots. Then she cut her at one point in that fight. I think at one point, I think a few rounds in the middle, I seen Alycia, I would say, got a little tired. And
possibly,
then, then again, got our second win and kind of ended the fight. I had it 6-4. I don't know what you guys had.
I was probably 6'4". Maybe, I was 6'4".
I gotta say
maybe 7'3". Like, if I was really pushing it.
Yeah.
Mikaela winning 7-3 was kind of crazy.
Yeah, that was tough. That was tough.
One of the scorecards had her 7-3.
Yeah, and what was interesting is I was on Twitter, and all I was seeing was kind of similar to what I was thinking, where at the worst it's a draw.
at the worst,
for
and
Baumgardner.
that's still a BS.
And so I was like, I don't
If
really
you
see.
have a 6'4", that's a 1-round swing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, you're right. You're right,
It
Sean.
was
Right.
that close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then what was funny was, so I was like, does anybody really have Mikaela winning? And a lot of people in the UK had Mikaela wide. They thought Mikaela like smoked her. And shout out to my guy Josh Windus, plays for Sheffield Wednesday. He thought she blew her out. He thought it wasn't even close. And the commentary thought Mikaela won wide in the UK. I said, they also thought Sean beat Kell Brook. So, I mean, what are they now?
Hey, Sean,
They're like aggressive.
it felt like at the end
that's going to be what it is.
at the end of rounds, Alycia was still in the rounds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know you mentioned that a lot. It felt like she would turn it on real late and get that
It
round.
looked like she was trying to do that because I had her. So I had Alycia win the first 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And I thought that the 3rd round was a little close.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like she had a game plan for the first 2 rounds, and then she kind of like regressed and stopped using that game plan in the 3rd round. I thought that she still won that round, but I could see there was a change that she was making that I didn't feel it was necessary for her to make. And from my eyes, it looked like she was just trying to pace herself through the match. So I have her win the first 3. Then I have Mikaela win the next 3, and I have it tied 3-3 after 6 rounds. And then I felt like Baumgardner wins round 7, and then I have Mikaela win round. Let me stop counting because I'm losing it. Oh yeah. All right.
I mean, to be fair,
Yeah,
Andre
I
Ward had
had,
it tied after 5 yesterday. So,
Yeah.
Andre,
so I
shout
had,
out to Andre Ward in 10th last night.
but he had it tied after 5, and it doesn't make sense mathematically. It's impossible.
They had a fun night.
He said that, and I said, "Wait a second, what round are we in
because
right now?"
and the reason why I was trying to count these rounds here is because I felt like both women were getting hit a little more than they needed to get hit.
Yeah.
Both women need to be more responsible after punching.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think either of them were taking shots coming in. I think it was after they would punch. It was like, I'm giving 3 and then I take 1. I'm giving 2 and then I take 1. And it was like situations like that. That's how a fight ends up being as close as it was. And even though that was happening, and which is why I counted the rounds, was because even though that was happening, I still felt like it was clear as to who won every single round. I didn't have any swing rounds through this match at all. Maybe one, but it seemed to me to be very clear that Alycia, it looked evident. First 3 rounds, she comes out. First 2 rounds, she comes out very sharp, very fast. 3rd round, she pulls back a little bit. I thought she pulled that one out. The 4th and 5th round, she was like just kind of like coasting, going through the motions, picks it back up, and then Mikaela picks it up, and then we have a little bit back and forth thing there. And I just thought that it made for a really good fight. And I thought that this is what I thought. Alicia's gonna win this fight. I hope they get an immediate rematch because the rematch is gonna be better than this first fight. Mm-hmm. And it's the exact same thing. I'm going to say the exact same thing I said about Haney and Kambosos. When you had an opportunity to see, feel, touch, all of those different things, a rematch it's going to always be better than the first fight, especially when you have, from a storytelling standpoint, the opportunity to promote, well, this is who won, and this is why that person won. And then you let Alycia and you let Mikaela take care of the rest. Yeah. Because all you have to do is say, well, you lost the first fight, and let them do the rest. And I think the rematch is going to be even better. When
I saw some people
if it happens.
Yeah, and I was going to say, going off that, I think a lot of people were like, oh man, Baumgardner immediately said no, she's not getting a rematch. Yeah, and my response to the people that were mad about that was, maybe if Mikaela didn't storm out of the ring, she could have made more of a scene and demanded a rematch. Yeah. But she bailed out. So
I almost said something wild.
Two things.
Go ahead, Sean.
2 things. Number one, a lot of times, and this is what happened with me, guys, when they get you get away with them. You snuck in there and you snuck out with the win. It's like, I don't need it anymore. Mm-hmm. That's number one. But number 2, you have to realize a lot of times there's going to be more money in a rematch because now people know what to expect based on their performances. And then 2, you have an opportunity to promote more based on what has already happened. So men and women need to get out of not rematching because you have a potential to make more money rematching somebody than you do fighting them or fighting them one time and moving on. Unless, of course, if there's somebody else who is very formidable as an opponent or as a champion, of course, there's more money that can be made there. But I think for these 2 women in that division, I'm pretty sure it's just them 2. I could be wrong about it.
Baumgardner is trying to go undisputed, so she's trying to fight Choi, who still has a belt, like hasn't fought a mandatory in however long.
WBA?
Yeah, I think so. She hasn't really had like any noteworthy fights.
Check this out.
They were both kind of trying to chase her down.
Mm-hmm.
Check this out. You rematch Mikaela, you perform even better, you make another check, bigger check, and then you go on and you go undisputed. Or you go on and you go undisputed right now, and then you rematch Mikaela. Mikaela has had time to get better, and she's had time to do this and do that. Now all of a sudden, all those belts, they go over there to Mikaela. So would you rather get this rematch now, while she's still probably licking wounds and still a little upset and can't wait to get back, and the emotions are running high and all that? Or would you rather her settle down, see you work some more, her work some more, them get better as a team, they come back and they take all your belts?
But coming from a guy that, people always says, why don't you get a rematch clause? It's not that easy.
Yeah,
Sean.
yeah, oh yeah.
Hey, you might never see. She might never see Baumgardner again.
Yeah,
she might never get in the ring with
especially,
her.
I think Baumgardner is just honestly, I think both of them are very marketable.
Yeah,
and extremely talented.
I think if they push her hard enough, she could be the face of boxing for women. The looks, the style, the talk,
the power.
Yeah, the power. The power.
Yeah,
that's the difference maker. That power. She could do it all. Like if they push her hard enough, put money behind her, and do it the right way.
I don't know how feasible it is, but if they could get Choi here somehow, like I think it was actually Lou DiBella mentioned, like maybe like Madison Square Garden, get her out there, Baumgardner to go undisputed. But
if they could get that Carson, and then she can get Katie Taylor at 135.
Yeah, so Taylor's at 35. If I'm Mikaela and the rematch doesn't seem likely, I'm probably just going to 35.
Oh, you saying tell Mikaela go get that?
Yeah, like if you're not going to get the rematch and you're not going to get the opportunity to go undisputed, why not move up?
That's tough fights for both of those guys.
Of course.
Both of those women.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's a tough fight. And a good fight.
Yeah.
Hey, am I tripping when I'm saying, if you guys think about this, fight of the year, women holds 1 and 2. I'm going. We haven't got there yet, but I'm going Katie Taylor, Serrano, number 1. Number 2, Claressa Shields, Savannah Marshall.
It was if it's not 1 and 2, they're definitely in
top 5.
Yeah, they're in that conversation for sure.
Women had a good year.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to just move into that? Shields and Marshall.
Absolutely.
How about let's just start with the walkout. Hey, that was all time right there.
Yeah, the Spice Girls threw me off.
Well, no, that was Mikaela.
And go back.
Mikaela, she threw me off.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
And go back just a little bit to Mikaela because I liked her walkout too.
Yeah, that was clean.
Spice Girls was good, but
they got creative.
Yeah. Claressa coming out,
dancing,
and David Banner and a little flip on the song. I mean, come on now.
He thought about coming back for a moment. He like, I could have danced my way out.
And she had the choreography down. She had the Apollo Creed outfit, and I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Fran Shawn made the outfit.
I don't know that one.
I think Fran Shawn actually made that outfit.
Fran Shawn Cruz, she made the outfit. Yeah. When she was on, and she said something like, "I had to go pick up an outfit" or something like that. Yeah. So she's starting a line. And,
okay.
A fashion line. Yeah. And that's going to be a part of what she does. So shout out to Fran Shawn.
Absolutely.
Hey, was that the first dance since Prince? Not seen?
That was a good one. A lot of people were bringing up Adrian Broner.
Oh, not like that.
But his wasn't choreographed. It wasn't as excessive.
Yeah, that wasn't.
Broner, I think he was just having a good time doing his. Yeah, hers was great. A lot of people were also shouting out like Apollo Creed, which that was kind of
Sean, just wave right now. Just wave.
Yeah,
just wave. Do it. No, seriously.
Yeah, wave. Man.
No, people.
There you go. There he is. Yeah, he appreciates it. He's shadow boxing.
Hey, they appreciate. They appreciate it at the window. They was hyped. They was looking for you. All right,
Wizard of Oz ass. But the Yeah, but that fight, man. Also, Savannah Marshall definitely has like some. I think Zittel actually mentioned before. Shout out to our guy Zittel. She's trained by Fury's uncle.
You could tell.
And Zittel, I think, brought up before that she has like some of the same mannerisms, like kind of like a little herky jerky as Fury, which is kind of funny. But man, that was a great fight, beginning to end.
Yeah,
I thought it wasn't. I don't think it was close, but it was action packed beginning to end.
Hey man, you know I think I said 9-1 in the group.
Yeah,
I had an 8-2. I could have said 8-2.
Okay.
If she keeps her backs off the ropes, 10-0.
Yeah, could have been.
Carissa Shields keeps her backs off the rope, 10-0.
You hear those sirens in the background. If it would have gone to Marshall, it would have been a robbery. Go ahead, SP. How'd you? I know you were doing a rehearsal at that time for the Fox card.
Yeah, it was
overall
reaction.
reaction.
Tough to watch it. It was tough to watch, but it was definitely entertaining. And I wrote this down too. I felt like we saw a sense of levels between the co-main event and the main event. Both fights delivered, but I just felt like the co-main wasn't quite as. It wasn't. It
was a different level. It was a different level.
It was a different level, and I felt like I don't know what it is, but I just felt like in the main event, Savannah Marshall and Claressa Shields both they boxed with this sense of professionalism, this sense of integrity, this sense of I'm here to win it all, and they displayed it. I don't really think the co-main displayed it not the way that they did. And I think that once you make it to a championship level and you've been there, you know how to act. And that main event, both them women, they knew how to act. I mean, Savannah Marshall showed me a lot. I can tell. I can keep it real now. I've never seen her box before, so I didn't really know what to expect. The way she boxes, it's a problem. The same way that Tyson Fury is a problem, is the same way Savannah is that same problem, because that little juggling of the hand, people don't understand this because you just have to be in there and experience it, but it throws your whole game off. When I seen her come out, my first thought was, because I know how it throws you off. Claressa remained calm. She remained steady and consistent in her game plan. She worked accordingly. The only thing I didn't like about Claressa, I felt like she gave up too much ground the entire fight. But as y'all can see, she was fighting off of the ropes. And not only that, she picked some spots in the middle of the ring to just let her hands go. Yeah. And to me, that's the difference between winning around. Maybe I won, maybe I didn't, and I'm taking this. And it felt like even if when I got one eye on rehearsal and one eye on the fight, it just seemed like every time I put my eyes back to the fight, Claressa was letting everybody know that she was here to win this fight and she wasn't going to leave England as a loser. And I mean, I'm very, 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 very proud of Claressa, especially if you guys don't know her story. She has an amazing story. Please check
Mark
that
Kriegel,
out.
Did a great job with the story beforehand. Really,
Yeah,
really hard stuff that she came up through.
Yeah,
gosh,
she's come through a lot.
She's the best. She's the greatest woman of all time. She was. It was so good to see. I mean, we've mentioned on the show before that we all think she's the greatest woman of all time, and it was great for her to get that stage against this person who beat her once in the amateurs, and it was like the only blemish, and she cooked her. I thought probably 8-2, maybe 9-1, 7-3 if I'm being generous. But
hey, question: Is Claressa on record for having only one loss in the amateurs, and that to Savannah Marshall?
I think so. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I think the way they phrase it is that's the only person that's ever beat her in a boxing ring is Savannah Marshall.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and I was like, is she really has never lost a match outside of Savannah Marshall?
And I mean, you just go through 2-time gold medalist. Mm-hmm. She's 3 divisions undisputed.
Yeah,
that's absurd. And she had such a great performance yesterday. You mentioned her maybe giving up a little ground and fighting off the ropes. I was loving it because she was like Sade. She was a smooth operator on the ropes. She had some great movement that I know. I think it was actually Leonard Ellerby maybe on Twitter was mentioning like that. I know Floyd is also a fan of Claressa, and that they've mentioned like her defensive skills. She's unbelievable.
Was that the best Claressa Shields we ever seen?
Yeah.
And I think she picked the perfect time to show that.
And against probably the best fighter she's faced, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Other than maybe Frank Shawn.
Perfect time. And another thing I always say about fighters, it's hard to put it all together in one night. Sometimes your defense may be lacking. Sometimes somehow, some way you went too much to the head. You were a headhunter. Should have went to the body more. Like Claressa completely mixed it up. She didn't leave anything in the locker room. Savannah Marshall, I saw a tweet from Claressa, has nothing to hang her head up about.
Yeah.
You just got in the ring with someone who's just a little bit better than you. And I really don't think that fight looks any different in the rematch. I could be wrong, but I don't think it looks any different.
The only thing in the rematch, I would love.
Well, you're great. You're great.
I would love Shawn Porter to go spend 2, maybe 3 weeks with Claressa Shields. Show her the Shawn Porter spin off the ropes, and I'd love to see. I'd love to see that in the rematch.
Classic.
I was like, get off the ropes, get off the ropes.
Yeah, I don't get that. That would be awesome.
Yeah, she could spin. Hey, she get that on.
Yeah, I don't get the impression. I agree with you, SB. I don't get the impression that would be really any different. Nah. And again, it's not. We've mentioned it before, but like losing to an all-time great, that's not the worst thing to do. Like it's not like Savannah Marshall. You're the second best in that division. That's fine. Like it's tough. Just like a tough pill to swallow, but she fought great.
I mean,
I'm just wondering if there's anything Savannah can improve on to make that fight look any different. Because I mean, she's in Claressa's face.
Right.
When you're in somebody's face the entire night and they don't waver, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Try to fight going backwards this time because Claressa's a really good offensive fighter that can, be aggressive and come at you too. So I don't know. I don't think it looks any different, and I'm definitely I can honestly say I'm proud of women's boxing, and I've been on record for saying this so many times, but I knew about Claressa since she was a kid and all that, but to have a lot of women out there who can really put it down in the ring is it's special, right? Right now it's a special time
and actually,
boxing.
That does remind me of another. Carolyn Dubois fought on the undercard.
Oh, here you go. I
knew that was when we went through it earlier. It just kind of stuck in the back of my head. I was like, there was somebody I wanted to at least acknowledge that had a good performance. But yeah, she's pretty good. She was an Olympian.
She was a medalist at the games, right?
Yeah, I believe she was a medalist.
Gold medalist?
That I'm not sure if she was gold, but she definitely.
I'm not positive.
She did well. What weight she's at? She's at lightweight, I think. She might actually be at 35, maybe. Okay. Which is funny.
That's the money. That's
Dubois, Daniel Dubois is obviously a heavyweight, so they were like just kind of. funny. But no, she can fight.
I kind of thought about this, and I know it's a little bit of a reach, but I kind of felt like this is the Layla Ali and Wolf fight that we never got in some respects.
I could see where you'd say that.
Yeah, well, I mean, just like both women being at the top of the game.
Yeah.
Everybody talking about them and wanting to see them, and
rivalry.
We don't need to kind of nice little rivalry there and all those things.
Yeah, it was a special night though. O2 over there was going crazy. And then moving from there.
Why do they call it the O2?
I think it's just the sponsor. I actually think the jersey I wore last week was an O2 Arsenal kit. Shout out to Thierry Henry.
Yeah, Sean. Just like the Staples Center is no longer called the Staples Center.
Crypto.com.
I get it.
So we want to go where you were employed yesterday with a zip-up jacket, question mark?
No, let's go with
you want to go Haney?
Talk about my flyness. Yeah, let's go to Haney.
Okay. He cooked them.
There's any fight that he cooked them with what? Just more cuts. It was a lot of blood in that fight.
It was a very different destruction, but it was the scores are actually even more wide in this one than the first one.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch it.
Did you watch the whole fight beginning to end?
Yeah.
Were you just tuned into that?
How'd you do that? Both fights was on at the same time.
No, I watched it on. I watched it this morning. I was kind of watching back and forth yesterday, and then went back and watched it today.
Did you find it more entertaining?
I mean, I just prefer the jab anyway, so I was fine with the first time around. It was more offensive. Kambosos definitely tried some things. He was kind of switching awkwardly early on.
I saw that. Yeah.
With Devin. To anyone that and he mentioned it, they mentioned on the broadcast, Tim and Dre as well. He clearly has power. I understand it's not knockout power, but he clearly has power because he mentioned with Kambosos in the first fight, he's like, if I didn't have any power, he would have come at me, and he didn't. You realize why?
Yeah.
And he cuts him yesterday. He was pounding him with right hands all day.
I think it's like pounding effect. I don't think he can't knock nobody out one shot.
Yeah, I don't think
he's not Devontae Tank Davis.
Yeah, I don't think
he's
he has
not
the one hitter
Ryan
quitter.
Garcia.
Yeah, but I think
Let's start with the fact that he has his body style does not suggest that he has power, so people take everything that he's going to do for granted. The other side of that is Ryan Garcia, who does like actually lean guys.
Yeah,
the exact same body style, nice face, and all these things, doesn't look the part of a fighter. So people have questioned if he can fight for so long until you see him knock out guy after guy and hurt guy after guy. And now you're saying, well, this guy can punch, this guy can hit. Same body style, same everything. And Devin Haney is just taking longer for him to get credit for it.
It's also probably his fighting style as well. The fact that he's not like he doesn't sit down on one big punch. Yeah. He's not an overly offensive fighter. He's a very diverse style of fighting, and is very good off.
You said the same thing about Caleb Plant.
Yeah.
The thing about Devin, I think he has to give us. It's like you're not the power. I know his dad complains that he's undisputed. He got all the titles, but you guys don't give him the respect. It's the era we live in now.
Yeah,
what have you done for us?
I actually hate that.
I know
because what he.
You also hate the WBA.
Yeah, that's also true. But
I was gonna say we're literally coming out of a belt era.
That's crazy.
But we're coming out of a belt era,
and I'll even take the belts out of the equation. He went after a guy that just beat Teofimo, who was the guy in the division, whether belt or not. He went over to his country, took whatever contracts, signed with Top Rank, signed with he did what he had to do. Went over there, cooked him for 12 rounds, and had to fight him again, and cooked him again both times in Australia. I think they mentioned yesterday it's never even happened where he had to fight. He was an undisputed champion, had to fight in the other guy's home country again.
And I don't think it did nothing for his career.
You don't think so?
Gave him belts.
I don't know. I just look at it differently.
I still want to see Tank. I still want to see Ryan before I see him.
Really?
I'll even take a Shakira a little bit.
Really?
But I still want to see Ryan. Obviously I want Tank is the guy.
Yeah.
You can get mad that you can call his belt fake. I don't care. Tank don't care. Tank can throw that belt away and show up and sell out the Barclays.
Yeah.
He can sell out the Staples. That's Tank Davis. That's what he does. That's what.
What do you make of the kind of the landscape with where Devin Haney's at right now? Undisputed SP.
Yeah, I think this did everything for his career.
Think so? I agree.
I respectfully disagree with Ant wholeheartedly. I think he needed this. I think he needed to mollywop a guy
in another sparring session.
Who took everything from one guy.
Yeah,
and to basically, because you can be claiming I'm that guy, but nobody knows unless you get put in with another guy. So Devin had been, hey, show me love, show me respect. He went and got the guy that took everything from Lopez, who was the guy after taking everything from. I just think I don't have to go around that whole circle, but yeah, I did everything for his career. He is on an entirely different level now because the belts commanded. But even beyond the belts commanded, when you look at the surface of it, he went to Australia not only once but twice and beat somebody and made that guy look like nothing when that guy just yesterday looked like a whole lot of something.
I think that's also important where you ended is then people will say, oh, well, Kambosos got lucky against Teofimo, and so Devin really beat somebody that we didn't.
And they could say Teofimo got lucky.
Yeah, but it's like, but wait a second, you were gassing him up after, and he was the emperor, he was this, he was that after he beat Teofimo, and so now that an elite fighter cooked him, you can't take away from, now you can't go, oh yeah, well he definitely just got lucky now. It's like, wait a second, he didn't get lucky when you after the fight. Now all of a sudden he did.
And it's just not like I'm hating on him, but it's just like the error with the belts. If he goes in there with Tank, he's the B side, clearly.
Yeah, but I think is that the only guy he's the B side with? Shakur maybe?
Ryan Garcia, he's the B side.
Yeah, those are
Shakir Stevenson. I think he's still the B side.
But are Ryan and Ryan and Tank maybe the two most popular boxers, two of the more popular boxers in the game?
I mean, you got a lot of guys up there. Well, he has all the belts. There's only a couple, maybe 3 or 4 undisputed?
Right
it's
now?
not a lot in the game.
maybe.
Right now at 135, let me remind y'all that you got now Shakur Stevenson, you got Devin Haney, and you got Lomachenko.
Yeah.
Outside of those three, everybody else is gone now up to 140.
Yeah.
So those, I think, respectfully in order, I would probably say Shakur, even though he just moved up. Then I don't know.
It'd be an unbelievable fight. I'm not sure that's next.
It's a lot. It's neck and neck.
Yeah.
It's a lot of talent.
I mean,
we could throw them all in the ring and never know who's gonna come out.
Yeah.
I
And
really,
Lomachenko.
between those three,
And
let them fight.
And don't forget about Carson's son.
Well, and
Carson throw his son in there and tag anybody up.
Loma. Well, you know how big of a fan I am of Loma, but also, I don't know. There's somewhat of a narrative that like, well, now Haney has to see Lomachenko, and it's like, not really.
Yeah.
What did Lomachenko do to earn that? Like, you know how big of a fan I am, but what did he do to earn that?
Who he fights next?
Lomachenko?
Devin Haney.
Devin. So Lomachenko, could be possible.
Yeah.
He fights in 2 weeks against Jermaine Ortiz, which I think he wins.
Was he dance?
Probably. Yeah, he's been known to. But yeah, I think that he wins that. I that's probably feasible. Maybe Haney Lomachenko next year. Be a great fight.
That's a hell of a fight.
Devin's a big 135 man.
Yeah, that's a hell of a fight.
Yeah,
Devin is
a
still
smaller
He's
135.
still squeezing in.
Yeah,
he's still squeezing in, and he's still making it work. I think he's got a little bit more business that he wants to handle at 135.
And credit to
he's gonna
him.
move up.
I know a lot of people. There was a lot said about him looking. His face was very sunken at the weigh-in, and he completely dried out. Made the weight though.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
if you're gonna criticize fighters for not making weight, you better give him a lot of credit for making the weight.
And I think with that Devin Loma fight, that's an exciting fight. And
hell yeah,
Devin better come to dance. Loma better come to eat some jabs.
Yeah.
I think
that'd be really good style matchup.
I think Devin, no matter who he fights in his next fight, I think he becomes a star after his next fight.
Yeah, especially if it's any of those guys we mentioned. If it's
I got
Loma, Shakur.
You got
a clip for you guys.
Oh God.
Check.
Okay. Okay. This is like Stone Cold. What's this?
All right, we're on weight. He told me to go out and get this for George. It's the art of war. So if you can hand it to him over there.
Sure.
Because we want him to be well prepared and not misinformed. So that's fine.
The book, The Art of War.
I was so excited
and they presented
about
that. They presented that to Kambosos right there, and you saw Kambosos push it off of the table.
A little disrespectful to Sun Tzu, but
in this sport, there has to be something outside of the ring that gets everybody talking, that gets everybody's attention, and that makes everybody say, "That was good," or makes everybody say, "I wonder what he's gonna do next." When those guys have the ability to do that right there, which is just be so passively aggressive that it was very aggressive.
Yeah.
But so passive and so fun and so, witty and things of that nature, it's only a matter of time until somebody else he gets in the ring with and they really expose what they can do in terms of being characters outside of the ring and have that WWE type of sense of entertainment that everybody, especially out there, is always looking for.
Yeah, and I think it has to come from the fighter. The dad can only do so much.
Yeah.
In your case, your dad talked crap. Nobody cared about that. They knew Shawn Porter's respectful at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that's what we're getting. It's got to be the fighter.
Yeah.
The third party can only do so much. If Devin just gonna come in there and perform, that's what Devin Haney's gonna do.
Yeah. I like
be a world champion, be a star, that's what he does.
I thought that was hilarious. I also I think, and we can kind of close on that if you guys are good with it. Kudos to Bill Haney. I think he did a hell of a job as a trainer. He had a completely different game plan, and Bill's his trainer. So kudos to Bill.
Yeah, hey, shout out to George Kambosos getting hella paid for sparring.
Yeah, and he also. I was gonna say, Kambosos was just very respectful afterwards. To Devin Haney, he was like, "Hey, he's a special fighter. Like, I came in, I did what I thought. I didn't leave any stone unturned. He just beat me."
He seemed like Shawn. He came out to fight more. The moments I looked, he came to fight, but it just it was levels.
I knew it was gonna be that way, and I didn't. Honestly, I didn't want him to touch Devin and change anything that Devin's got going on. Yeah, at the end of the day, I have a job to do as a broadcaster and things like that. But there's certainly guys that I root for without ever saying a word, and Devin's always going to be one of those guys. All that being said, I just really want to give Devin his roses right now because I've seen pictures of Devin at like 8, 9, 10 years old, and he's walking to the ring with Zab Judah, and he's been in the gym with Mayweather so many years. This kid has had this exact dream and this exact goal for so long. And Carson, how old is he? Is he 22?
23. Yeah.
He's 23. To be 23 and have it all right there for you. Congratulations to Devin Haney for really just accomplishing his goals and not veering off of his mission. And it's the boxing is just so hard to do in the boxing game. And that's why I'm speaking this way, because I've seen so many guys veer off, and when they try to come back, it's just not the same. It takes a special person to have a specific level of focus and determination, and Devin has it.
Do you, and to close on Devin, you obviously know him, I get the impression that he's a sponge. Like you mentioned, being around with Zab Judah, obviously Yoel Judah, Floyd, sparring with you when he was young, sparring with those guys. I get the impression that Devin is somebody that absorbs all of that knowledge and uses it. Am I accurate in stating that?
100%. He is a guy I would describe as loving the sport and always taking advantage of every opportunity that the sport is going to give him. There's guys who make it in this game because they're just so athletically superior. There are other guys that make it in this game because they're such hard workers that they get there. You know, Devin is one of those guys that loves it. And when you love this sport, all of that stuff is just at your fingertips. And as long as you love it, you're willing to do almost anything that it takes to get to it. So that's why he's going to go as far as he's gone. That's why he's gone as far as he's gone. And he's going to go so much further.
Yeah. You know, I feel like it's just so much he can do. But it's just like, he's a sweet science.
Yeah.
Casuals don't care about that. Casuals like Gervonta Tank Davis, which is not the sweet science, but I'll knock your head off.
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, but until think about when he gets in there with, maybe it's not Tank, but when he starts, say hypothetically, if he gets in there with Lomachenko and he cooks him, people know Lomachenko. The casuals know Lomachenko. I get what you're saying.
But your style is not bringing in more people. Your style is not bringing out the stars.
Was Floyd's late in his career?
Floyd talked that talk outside the ring. That's what I told y'all.
Yeah, but
you got to have 23. Something. Floyd was Money Mayweather talking that talk.
What, at 23?
Yes. No, he was knocking people out. That's what he was doing.
Yeah, but
he's not doing neither.
He was pretty boy
and he was
knocking stuff.
And knocking people out.
He was very aggressive in and out of the ring.
It's not my fault. It's boxing's fault. Don't get mad at me.
We saw more offense from Devin last night.
Yeah,
and as long as he gets put in guys that who are at his level and are going to come forward and come get him, we can get more offense from him. He'll come along and he'll be more crowd pleasing for anybody that doesn't like what they see from him so far.
And Shawn, I'm gonna ask you not to speak on this because of business wise, but last night pissed me off about boxing. At that moment when it went from Dirrell to Wilder, at that moment, put on Devin Haney on TV. Vice versa in another country. Like, that is the problem with boxing. Stuff like that would help the game. But we knuckleheads and we butt heads. Shawn, don't speak on this. But
No, I can speak on this.
You can?
Because it bothered me. Yeah,
because I was thinking, why am I watching this on my phone right now? Why are people in the stands huddled up around Anthony's phone watching this?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to. I was at when I first started inside PBC Boxing. I'm doing a show. I don't know if I ever told you this, Carson, but I always say I would refer to Carson as Mr. ESPN because before you get a notification from ESPN, we're recording the show, and I refer to my friend as Mr. ESPN because this we get a cut. We got to do that over. They come out, they talk to me, they say, you can't. You used another network. You can't do that. I said, what? I didn't even understand what they were telling me.
That's fine.
They had to break it down. They had to break it all the way down. They said, you said ESPN. You can't say ESPN. I said, what are you talking about? He said, Shawn, you said your friend was Mr. ESPN. Yes, you're talking about your friend, but you said ESPN. You can't say another network on this network.
What if they would just?
And it's just how it goes.
What if they would have bleeped it out?
It's just
They would have just
how
bleeped
it goes.
They were like, "Yeah, my friend, Mr.
Yeah. So, but it goes past the boxing, and it goes into now networks are also involved, because if you're not making us money, then we don't want to expose you. Yeah. Same thing with boxing. If you're not making us money, we don't want to expose you. So no, I agree 100%. You shouldn't be in the Barclays and there's a big what do they call it? Jumbotron, whatever they call them, right there above you, and you can't watch what's going on the other side of the world. That's just ridiculous. But it's kind of it's like the difference between that and the NBA, the NFL. Yeah, they own it, so they can show other things. That's why you go from one game, it ends, and then you got 3 minutes and 40 seconds left of another game,
or like a game break where they cut to a different game. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah,
and do we want to just move into that Fox pay-per-view card? Anything undercard stand out? I don't know when you got.
Why you say
what do we think?
I got there for Vito.
I was gonna say Vito fought Michel Rivera.
That's what he said.
Anything of note for either of those guys?
Hey, best fight I've ever seen from Rivera.
Okay.
Best fight I've seen from Rivera.
What about him stood out?
Like what I saw from him. Everything. I mean, he was running his hands. He was, I think, more offensive than I've seen from him since he's been in the States fighting on Fox. He just looked so sharp. Everything was, you see that uppercut he kept landing. I mean, everything was pinpoint accurate. And then he's up against Perez, and I thought about this, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it because I thought about it. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Remember a couple weeks ago we were talking about ESPN putting together and Top Rank. We talked about Top Rank putting together some really good competitive fights for the young guys. We were saying, yo, these young guys are supposed to be A-side, but they're up against some really good opposition. I felt like that when I was watching Rivera versus Perez last night. I said, yo, they took a page out of Top Rank's book, and they put this kid in the ring with somebody who can really fire back. And it was a really good competitive, one-sided yet competitive, fun fight to watch.
Anything for Vito? He won.
Vito, I was
watching the Cleveland Guardians take down the Yankees.
I was just arriving, so I just walked in and seen he got the victory. Seemed like it was clean.
Yeah,
like it wasn't even a problem. He's right there from getting on the pay-per-view. Is that how it works when you're the main event on the prelims? You're right there from pay-per-view, or is that?
Well, that's how it's supposed to be. It's all about your performance. You want something electrifying when you're right there, so that you can be on. So that a situation with Russell and Vito, there's a flip. You want to have a really good, exciting match, so the next time you're the one who's on the pay-per-view portion of the night.
Why is Vito at 154?
Because he's a big kid.
And why? How did he get a belt after the fight?
I thankfully
shout out to Carson.
WBA for sure.
Was it?
I have no idea. I wasn't watching.
Dang, I don't want to get that wrong.
Nah, I don't.
But
think
it probably was.
Nah, it was probably one of the regional ones that you picked.
But it was. It looked like a WBA official. But he's skipping. He won. Done with 147, huh? Going to the big leagues. Yeah. Going to the big leagues.
He's a big kid.
Yeah.
He got some thick legs, and now it's just about putting on some muscle and now like trying to use that muscle, use those big legs and turn it into power. I think that was the only thing he was lacking last night was like true hurt and put you down type of power. Of course, that's what you need at 154.
Yeah.
And you've been in the ring with the guy, very skilled young man.
That's a ringing endorsement.
You ain't going to
yeah, he's been in the ring with him.
You ain't fighting no more? You can say what you can say.
No, he's good.
Yeah.
No, he's good. He's
good. And he's trained by Joe?
I will say this about him.
No, he trained by his dad.
He's no longer trained by Joe.
Okay.
Joe, he did, I think maybe he did 2 fights with Joe, I believe.
Okay.
And then they cut ties after that. But I will say this. I spar with Vito. I was a couple of steps ahead of Vito. Of course, we expect that. So I told Vito, I said, yo, you need to use your jab more, and you need to be more offensive. And I saw that I saw that last night. So I was actually it started off fast, and he had a good pace last night. I was impressed by that.
And then moving into the pay-per-view, Manuel Rodriguez, Gary Antonio Russell.
Go ahead, Sean.
That was, man.
Bro, box,
How
young
quick?
man,
How
box.
quick was Emmanuel Rodriguez's counters? Anytime,
It was a blitz, yo.
good gosh! Every time Gary
blitz.
Antonio threw something, he was firing
From the
back.
jump, Carson?
Yeah, you know who actually comes out looking the best out of that fight, in a way, because
he blew him.
destroyed
Blew him out the
Emmanuel
ring.
Rodriguez. And so you saw what he did. Yeah, and Gary Antonio was a good fighter. I don't think all of a sudden
Is
he's
NUA a southpaw?
no orthodox.
He's orthodox, right?
Mm-hmm.
If there's somebody that knows, Carson knows.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say, but yeah.
Yeah.
That Rodriguez kid, they brought us back on like, hey, we want you to say something about this fight. I was like, I didn't study this dude. I should have done some research on this guy.
How bad were your betting suggestions, by the way? Whew.
Terrible.
Yo, you missed
Shout out
those.
to DraftKings.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Shout out to DraftKings, I suppose.
When he was up,
he's
up
up there,
talking?
and they're having him, and so he's doing these suggestions.
Oh,
and I'm not a better,
Yeah.
and anytime Sean said something, I was like, all right, let me just do the opposite. Of
Yeah,
this one.
it's cash out real quick.
Yeah.
I was hyped. I was ready for it. Had my notes together, all this and that. And after everything happened with Russell, I was like, yeah, this night ain't gonna go well for me with DraftKings. But hopefully they they still like what I say and how I promote their business.
So let's and we don't need to dwell on that
Both
fight.
fights ended on cuts.
Yeah, that was talk about Shawn Porter as a headbutt. That was a serious headbutt. Put him down with a headbutt.
almost-
Look at that right there.
He almost dropped.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you that, when you may look at a fighter and say, oh, he does that all the time or he's doing that on purpose.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the style, sometimes it's a specific moment right there with both those guys being southpaw, southpaw and orthodox. It just happens, so.
Should we talk
it
about
sucked last night.
the very strange knockdown round and how that transpired? Well, we need to dwell on it, I guess, but
Sure. No,
when we wasn't sure if the fight was over.
well, so he gets dropped and he was in bad shape. He gets up. I think they said about 8.5.
Yeah, and I couldn't believe the ref let that go.
When he ends up kind of counting to 10 anyway. Gets him to the corner, but the bell hadn't rung. So there was technically still a second.
No one knew what was going on.
And then he keeps, and I think it was his wording that was confusing. But he goes, and you obviously didn't see the broadcast, but the ref was saying he gets his minute, and everyone was like, "What?" And he keeps repeating, "Yeah, he gets his minute. He gets his minute." And everyone's like, "What are you talking about? It's the round."
Round's over. Yeah,
But
Say
the bell
that.
didn't.
What are
ring.
you talking about?
Yeah, but the bell didn't ring, so the round wasn't over. So they needed technically to do like you bring them together, wipe his hands off, time in. Ding. Bell rings.
And I don't even think the bell rung.
It didn't ring at any point. And then they had an issue with the bell or the round, like the next round, the clock didn't start correctly. But that was a mess.
Benji didn't make and
Benji got dropped too early last night. Benji got dropped.
Did he really?
Yeah, he and in one of the prelims
How
he
you
tripped.
see that?
He tripped. It was all on social media. It was like
Turf monster guy.
yeah, he tripped. Hey, the fighter stopped and looked like.
Wait a second. Give him a second.
Shout out to Benji.
I've never lived the life of a ref. I've been in maybe at a convention. I've been in the room where they've given like a seminar to referees and judges and things like that. But I basically just kind of go off of my experience. What I believe a ref should do, I believe a ref should be verbal, then physical. What I mean by that is you say break. If the guys don't move back, then you step in and you move them to the side. You get some refs in there that go in there and they slapping arms.
What the hell?
And yeah, I mean everybody's trained differently. Saying all that to say that Benji needed to be extremely verbal and specific in this moment. I gave him his 8 count. He beat it. Go to your corner. Round over.
Yes.
That's all. But when you've never been in this specific situation, you're in a lot of ways you're like a fighter where something is happening and you're just reactive.
Yeah.
And you really don't know how to kind of work your way through it and think your way through it. Then you realize everybody's looking at me for the white too, and you gotta get stuck.
Yeah.
Anytime you see a fighter and you're like damn, like why isn't he? He gets stuck. It's a moment you have where you just get stuck. And that's what happened to Benji. And so, yeah, I mean, let's fast forward past it, but let's rewind back to when Jack Reese faced the exact same situation and he called off the fight. Jack explained it like this. The guy got up, he beat the count, but I have to look at it as if there's 10 seconds or more left in the round. What decision would I make if there's 10 or more seconds in this round? Would I allow these guys to continue knowing that he's hurt and could potentially get even more hurt, which is why the situation where the bell rang actually, just rewind real
What
quick,
fight are you
they
talking
should have
about?
rang the bell. I don't remember what fight it was. This was 2019.
I thought he was talking
This
about
was
his fight at
2019.
first, and
I
then
was like-
and I was like,
No.
He's like, oh yeah, that fight with
No.
Jack Reese. I was just like, okay, go ahead and
just
cook.
letting
I'm
you-
not sure what
letting
you're
you
talking
guys
about.
know.
yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna just let you guys know that this exact situation happened. Number one, they rang the bell, which is what New York was supposed to do last night. They should have rang the bell. You don't stop the clock. You let the clock run. It runs, and you ring the bell.
Mhm.
But beyond that, what Jack explained was, hey, I know that even though the bell rang, if it had been 10 seconds more left in the round, I could not, in my good conscience, let that fight continue. So I would have called it off. Even though the bell rang, I'm still calling this fight off. Whether he's right or wrong, or whether Benji was right or wrong, I personally felt like the fight should have been stopped. I felt like, especially with as limited as we were with communication from Benji, everybody felt like the fight was over. It seemed like, hey, this fight should be over, So
Yeah.
I think that that's one of those kind of gray areas in officiating where you really don't know what decision you should make, and so you kind of just go with instinct. And Benji's instinct led him to letting Russell continue. I can tell y'all right off the bat, other refs are trained a different way, and they would. And one ref that I know, Jack Reese, would have actually stopped that fight. And I think a lot of people felt like the fight should have been stopped at that point. What about y'all?
I wouldn't have been mad if it was stopped because it did look like he was in pretty bad shape.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then I mean he continues, and I also people were kind of questioning the end, of the fight.
I didn't. That was weird.
I think
In
it was
the crowd.
I think it was
We were
a-
lost.
I think it was an orbital bone issue
Oh, is that what it was?
from the headbutt.
Sean got something to say.
Did y'all see? It felt to me like Rodriguez let Russell live. Did y'all get a feeling of that at all? That he kind of like he pulled back and he wasn't aggressive.
Maybe
Almost like he was letting.
I thought
letting
Gary
him,
Antonio
make it
actually
through.
probably played more of a part in that. I think he maybe put his foot to the pedal a little bit, so that maybe Rodriguez
I
wasn't
felt like
as comfortable.
I'd like to hear from Rodriguez what his mindset was at that point, or what the corner said at that point. It looked to me like he actually like pulled back and was like, "Hey, we have this win officially. I don't need to hurt this guy anymore."
I mean, it's possible that he just thought he had the win, which I think he did. I'm not sure if Gary Antonio won maybe a round.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe it was just he was going to go into kind of coast mode, but then the headbutt.
And I mean the prediction before the fight started. I mean, obviously we know what 14 seconds last fight it was
Yeah.
over. Even when talking in the barbershop, it was like he's supposed to get that victory last night, right? Russell.
Yeah,
that was.
He's the up and coming guy.
Yeah.
You put him in the ring with somebody who's been in the ring with NUA because of that resume. You
Mhm.
want to add that to your resume, So that plan definitely backfired.
Yeah. And then the next fight, Frank Sanchez. Yeah, it was something. It happened.
Hey, if Frank could have
was
got
Cuban.
my man to stay in the ropes, he would have had the knockout of the year. The way he put my man in the ropes, it looked like Martin. Have y'all ever seen Martin get put in the ropes by Tommy Hearns?
Yeah.
Hey, that's how my man went to the ropes and he got up. But Frank can box.
Yeah, Frank's gonna be he's gonna be a tough night for any of those top
Anybody.
guys. One match I think they mentioned it either on the broadcast or maybe I saw it on Twitter would be Joe Joyce is actually an interesting matchup
Joe Joyce.
Very.
because Joe Joyce
Very
very
interesting
offensive guy, obviously has a chin of absolute steel. The
Who's Joe
juggernaut.
Joyce with?
I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Matchroom probably. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but
That's
yeah,
all.
if that's doable because because he's gonna force Sanchez to
Sean
fight.
knows. Sean knows.
Does he know?
I don't know.
Yeah, he doesn't
No,
know.
I think match.
but he would force Sanchez. It's gonna have to.
Yeah.
He's
That
gonna have
guy
to
don't
throw a
know.
little bit.
I don't know.
Yeah. I have
Okay.
No idea. But
Is he ready for a Wilder Ruiz?
I could see him beating Ruiz.
Is he gives Wilder a tough night?
I think he's just a tough night for anybody.
I think somebody that slips gives Wilder little problems, and my man can. That's an interesting fight.
Yeah. I just
The only two elite guys at heavyweight that I think gives Frank a problem, Frank a problem, is Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury.
because they're boxing.
Wow.
I think those are the only two guys that give Frank Sanchez a problem.
You skip somebody.
I'm not sure Deontay doesn't lean him, but
That's the thing. Yeah.
Sanchez, I haven't
But-
seen
but-
him. I haven't seen his chin tested.
But Deontay's not giving Frank problems. Frank's giving Deontay.
Yes, I see what you're saying.
There's a difference.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Hey-
So I agree with what Carson said. Frank gives everybody a problem at heavyweight,
Yeah.
but there's only two guys that can not only handle him but give him problems, and that's Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure we didn't really dwell on that fight
Yeah,
because
Nah.
it kind of was what it was.
would you
Yeah.
you be
I
both?
was wrong on DraftKings again, so
Yeah,
there's
per
that.
usual.
You be both of those guys?
Frank Sanchez will box his ears off.
Frank Sanchez his opponent
ain't
last night.
I'm not messing with Frank.
All
I
right,
can't
cool.
mess with Frank.
What about the other dude? You
I-
leaning? What about the
I
other
think
dude?
Dirrell.
What about the opponent? What'd you do to the opponent? Man, come on, let's keep going. So what's the co-main?
Co-main. We had
6'8", Sean.
Ant the dog and Caleb Plant.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Kind of a nasty fight. A lot of holding, a lot of pushing and pulling. There was actually one moment where I think the commentary gave Anthony Dirrell, like they kind of thought he caused it, but Caleb kind of pulled him down.
Yeah.
Like on the replay, Caleb's arms are both around Anthony
When
Dirrell.
he DDT'd him?
Yeah, he like brought him down. They were like, "Oh, look at Anthony Dirrell," and I was like, "Wait a second, I'm not so sure about that."
Shout out to Caleb Plant. Y'all know I've been killing Caleb Plant for the last 2.5 years. I came up as a Plant one day.
Yeah.
Sean, you wasn't there, but I showed up to the broadcast as a Plant. Yeah, you wasn't there. Shout out to Caleb Plant because Ant did something. I guess it must be an Anthony thing because when I play sports and you was out talenting me, then I'm gonna take it to another way and try to break you. I'm gonna talk crap. I'm gonna get dirty. Ant did all that, and Caleb stayed locked in.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb, like, I got to get past you tonight because I got a bigger mission. And Caleb was on one last night. I didn't see Caleb sitting down on a punch. I just saw Caleb boxing Ant ears off to a victory. But he sat down on a punch and landed a big shot. And
God dang, you talk about a big shot.
yeah,
That boy.
That's might be
knockout of the year.
over the year.
Yeah, shout out to Caleb Plant. Hey, bro, you doing your thing, bro. I apologize, man.
Ant saw that.
knockout of the year.
Yeah, very
knockout
true.
of the year.
Yeah. What did you think overall?
Who,
SB?
Sean? Who would have thought that?
Who would have thought he would get knockout of the year?
Lovely.
That boy
Works
was
him to the
on level.
body, feint to the body, and goes up top. Also, before we go to USB, to add on what Ant said about staying composed, and the big thing was Breadman in the corner. He was like, "Forget the booze."
So
Who
his
cares?
name's Breadman?
Stephen Edwards. They call him Breadman.
Okay, all right. Okay. I was like, I'm not going to say Breadman. I seen him. All right, cool.
But he kept saying in the corner, he was like, "Who cares? Like, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Them booing, who cares? Stay in your game. Don't let it, get to you." What did you think overall, SP, on the fight?
Hey, Sean, would you be pissed at me if I admitted to you I started a couple of boos?
Did you? I've started booze at fights
And I
before.
don't mean just like Kate. I was just like, come on, man, y'all got to fight.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
No, it was me.
I thought you was
No,
At
I
one of
start-
Sean's fights?
starting booze at
No,
my
no,
fight.
no.
Yeah,
Last night, I was leading the charge
I
over there.
booed at the Crawford
I
fight.
booze a couple times. I'm like, yo, why are you booing this? Why'd you boo it?
They wasn't doing nothing. I didn't see no activities. I want to see some
guess.
activities.
It's a pretty powerful feeling
I
when you
guess.
start a boo.
Yeah, I
You
felt
start
like
a
the
boo
man
and
last
You
night.
start a boo and it starts to move
Yeah,
around.
I
You're
was
like,
like, yeah, let's go, baby.
yeah, I'm controlling this. What'd you think
Caleb
overall?
Plant was on a level last night.
Yeah.
He was fast, sharp, accurate, more offensive than I probably have ever seen him. I mean, he just was on level, and I felt like Anthony Dirrell was like maybe a little less than a step behind. It was just a little bit
Every
less than
time.
a full step.
Mm-hmm.
It was he was swinging and missing, and it was like if you throw that a split second sooner, you're landing something, and that just goes to show you it's a kind of a testament to how sharp Caleb Plant truly was last night. And then even with that, like Anthony Dirrell came to fight.
Mm-hmm.
He came to rough up Caleb Plant. He came to get in his head and rough him up. Get him. Off
his game.
Mad.
Yeah, get him off his game, and all of those things mentally. And what I truly saw last night was Caleb Plant, who's young, very vibrant, very skillful, very fast, very sharp, against an old dog who came to the ring young, not quite there in every aspect, but came to the ring young and ready to bite. And out the gate was using pro tactics that I really have only seen in the gym. I've only seen guys do these things in the gym, because usually when you get to the ring, it's like I used it in the gym, but I don't really need it tonight. I mean, from the clinching to everything that was rough, pushing them down, and all these other different things. In my personal opinion, and I felt like the commentators didn't really give it the justice that it deserved. I felt like Anthony Dirrell, even though he was losing, was doing everything he could do to win the fight until that punch.
And shout out to Caleb Plant. Hey,
Which buckled my legs. I was standing up during that fight, and my legs buckled.
You collapsed too? You collapsed too?
Spaghetti legs.
I didn't collapse.
You felt it though.
I felt it, bro. I instantly, I was hurt.
Hey, bro, I love you to death. None of your punches I felt. I love you. But I was like, fuck. I never said.
Yeah. That one of them.
Not one of them, man.
That one of them.
Because I'm like, Sean gonna get up. I think that's the thing, though.
Yeah.
You never been laid out like that, Sean.
That was tough to see.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, you've been laid out like
As
that.
soon as it
Hey,
lands,
somebody
man,
got. I would have punched my girl. You got knocked out like that.
Yeah, you gotta just.
I don't think I can say
you
that.
gotta punch a seat in front of you.
Well,
or
no,
something.
you can't.
Okay.
What
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Hey, can I tell a quick story real quick? No, should I leave this? No, I didn't open the door. So there was a fight last night.
In the crowd.
Oh yeah. Hey, Sean was
In
right
the
next to
crowd.
it.
Right next to it. And my producers keep coming to my ear. Don't worry about the fight. Stay focused. Stay locked here. We need you here. Stay here. Keep talking to the camera. Just keep talking to the camera. They don't know what I've been through. New York, most recently.
Oh yeah. Sean.
At Tank's fight where you know where I was sitting at, right, Ant?
Yeah, I see. Hey, bro. If it went down, I was coming up there. We was gonna get out of there. I got you. Me and EJ got you. I wasn't too far from you, actually.
So, long story short, Carson, where they sat us is right there at the entrance of the Barclays. So when everything went down a few weeks ago, everybody comes running back into the Barclays and storms right there where we are, where our desk is at.
Yeah.
So there's a fight going down behind us. And my thing is, last time we heard that it was guns on the premises, this and that, and it's and security takes so long to come and get there and all these things. I'm like, it's only a matter of time before we live, and I don't give a damn, and I just get off of it, get out of my seat.
They was
do what
rumbling.
I gotta do.
They was rumbling.
It was rumbling. So it was one fight, ended up becoming two fights. They separated the people, and they took one fight outside, and they separated them, but they left them outside. Then they bring the other people that was fighting out, separate them. Now you got another two fights because they done left people out there, and now they're fighting out there. I told my producer, I said, yo, you got to turn the lights out because I can't see what's happening, and I need to know what's going on. Come to find out, some ignorant woman shows up to the fight with another man.
Oh no.
Her dude.
Hey.
Her dude
is
walking
Come
down.
on. Now, you know your boy's a boxing fan. It's not a lot of us out there. Come on. You know your husband's a boxing fan.
That's unreal.
Now you going to go with your side dude you know there's a chance he could be there. Come on. Because you told him you was going to the movies, and he told you he was going to the... What? Hey, so was he there with... Was he there with another woman? That would have been a fight.
That would be classic.
That would have been a fight. A 2-on-2?
I didn't hear he was with
I thought
another
you were-
woman. I just know that I just heard he locked eyes with her and
I thought
and let off.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought the whole story you were gonna say they were fighting below you, and you just hit the swanton bomb off the top. Like, hold on for a second, cut the camera off, and went Jeff Hardy flying off the top. But
no, but I was on the edge because
Okay, they get a
pass.
pass. They get a pass last night
That's
for the
crazy.
Rumble. I ain't mad at you.
so back to the fight
ain't mad at that
in the
one?
I ain't
ring.
mad at that
So
one.
back to the
My
fight
bad,
in the
Carson.
ring.
That
No.
was actually our intermission. We actually got that one in the end of Caleb. So
Okay.
just give you a heads up.
And yeah, I guess one thing, just I'm curious on what you guys thought because we didn't discuss it. I didn't love the celebration. I'm gonna lie to you. I didn't appreciate it. But it is what it is. Like
you
I'm not,
also an Ant Dog fan.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I think we all are. It's like, come on, bro, get out. Like when the ref grabbed him, I was like, yeah, grab him. Don't do that to Ant Dog.
Yeah, that was actually funny that Harvey Doc did grab him.
Hey, shout out to Shawn Porter. Harvey Doc dropped to my list. Hey, I'm not a fan of Harvey Doc because of Shawn's story last week and just watching the fight. I'm like, Harvey, we're already not getting action. I don't need to double push because he be on it. Like,
Oh, you was watching it?
yeah, I was watching. I was on him last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I told you, like refs are trained differently, and he was trained. He's trained to get in there. Like I said earlier, like some refs are just physical. Just tell us to break and then let us box. But he gets in there and he's real physical. But
They were also
I thought he did the right thing.
they were
at
also,
the
to be
end
fair,
by-
they were a little maybe rougher than they
Sure.
needed to be. But
Sure,
what were you
sure.
saying
But
on the,
I did agree at the end when Doc goes over and tells Caleb, hey, stop.
yeah.
That particular, it's just that particular action that he was doing hits home because of the situations that you do deal with
Yeah.
in the sport of boxing.
Just-
So that one right there, I'm all about a celebration, but that specific one, I just think
yeah,
because it's just a little
yeah,
overboard.
be fired up.
Yeah.
And I understand there was a lot of animosity before the fight. He had the shirts coming in, coming out, but
I think he
it was a little
couldn't,
much
he
for
couldn't
me.
let it go, Carson.
Yeah.
So it's just like
And also,
put his ass in the dirt.
yeah, I'm also not like that competitive.
Don't laugh,
and-
don't laugh,
and-
don't laugh,
and he
don't
has
laugh. That's what it was
But he
symbolizing.
has that, adrenaline. I've never probably been on that level, so I'll give him maybe a pass on that. Is what it is.
You never tackle nobody and did that?
No,
That's an,
especially that. I wasn't trying to tackle anybody.
oh, okay.
The
You were Deion Sanders. Okay, all right, Carson.
but yeah, it was just a little much for me. We've talked about before. Even the cutthroat's a little much for me sometimes. I'm like,
Carson.
"Gas."
You're right. Carson loves the cutthroat.
No,
Unless
I
it's
don't
in
like
boxing.
the cut. Oh no,
You
when
don't like it?
when do I like the cutthroat?
I just thought you always.
No,
No,
he
yeah.
liked it when the Undertaker does it.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it was a little much, but big time performance from Caleb Plant.
Yeah.
What do we think? What do we think next?
Hey, question. Yes, they said Charlo. Which Charlo was there last?
It was not Jamal.
Okay, Carson. I'm looking at that, but they saying
From what they said, from what I saw, I didn't actually see them cut to him, but everyone was like, "Yeah, that's definitely Jamal."
yeah. Okay.
But more power to him.
I'm
guess.
not mad at. We'll go quick. I'm not mad at Jamal
Yeah.
and Caleb next,
Mhm.
and I also think that I'm gonna go on record right now for saying this: Benavidez versus Plant is 50-50.
Ouch. No. Hell no.
Yeah, I'm not-
70-30 at best.
It's a good fight.
70-30 at best.
I like Caleb running his hands. A little bit
Dave
yesterday.
Benavidez, different level. He gon' what you sat down with on what's that 8th, 9th round? You're gonna have to do that in the first. Otherwise, Michael Myers coming. Michael Myers is coming the whole fight, and Caleb's just gonna keep backing up dancing. Michael Myers is coming the whole fight, and
Speed makes power.
it's either kill or be killed with David Benavidez. Y'all know I love
Speed
David
makes
Benavidez.
power.
True.
Hey, chill out.
And I was wrong on every DraftKings promo I did
You
last
pick,
night.
he missed every pick. You missed.
I'm gonna call y'all soon. I hit on the last one,
Okay.
and
we're all-
shout out to
Real
Amal.
bold,
We
real
all
bold prediction there.
Amal, Amal was there. He said, "Yo, great part about it is you've been wrong all night, but if you get this one right, it wipes away everything else." So
It doesn't, but okay. I respect them all for saying that and building you up. But
So
he gave me confidence in
Yeah,
the moment.
I
He made
respect
me
that.
feel good. Yeah.
who you like, Charlo or David?
so I think Plant and Benavidez is probably one of the most desirable fights in boxing.
And we won't get till 2024
Yeah, I don't imagine that's next.
with no boxing.
I can't think of somebody outside of Charlo that makes sense for where Caleb is, because Caleb is very clearly he wants the top guys, and Charlo wants
Yeah.
the top guys. Benavidez wants the top guys.
Yeah.
There's not that many.
Yeah.
There's not that many top guys in the division. So
You're right.
you're kind
Yeah.
of running out
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
Like Anthony Dirrell is right there.
And they all
Right below
want to
it.
end up at Canelo's doorstep.
The only guy that I think you can throw in there that maybe doesn't get mentioned as much is David Morrell, but I'm not sure where he really falls into that mix. But
yeah,
I think Charlo makes sense next. That would probably be the one I would like to see.
I like Charlo next.
Charlo next in May on the Crawford Spence co-main in May.
Just keep throwing May out.
Because we ain't getting any time soon.
I respect the confidence.
Yeah, we ain't getting any time
happens
soon.
in May. You'll go back to this moment. Remember the answer.
I've been saying it all week.
Yeah. I would like to see how they all shake out at the top at 168. And then the fight that you predicted correctly, Bronze Bomber was back in the building.
Bomb Squad.
He's something else, man.
You can't sing it. You can't sing it.
And you can't sing it that softly.
I didn't want to scare Carson.
Yeah, please don't scare me because I would have pissed myself. But Deontay Wilder, he is something else. That power is something else. And there's guys that transcend boxing. And I saw so many different, whether it was other athletes talking about it, whether it was people that I follow on Twitter that aren't like boxing fans talking about it. He is that guy. Yeah. And it was great to have him back. We saw Deontay Wilder. I tweeted it. It was the boxing edition of You Reach, I Teach.
Yeah.
Helenius was leaning too far forward. Third punch he connected with. Curtains.
And it was a half punch. He didn't even step into it. He didn't even
like Lennox said, it was a short punch.
And it got it done.
Oof.
I was like, bro, get up. Now I said, oh, yeah, don't get up.
Yeah.
What's the point in taking two of those?
No, definitely not. What'd you think on seeing Deontay back in there?
No pun.
Yeah, no pun intended, but that's the touch of death. No pun intended, but I mean, you can't. It's impossible to do what Deontay Wilder did last night. That was the touch of death, because to throw that punch with no trajectory whatsoever, to throw that punch with no extension whatsoever, to just allow his momentum coming in, your timing and accuracy on the punch right here on the top of the head, and to get that as a result, that means you have something that nobody has been given but you. And I believe that Deontay Wilder has really done the best he could to use it. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that even though we didn't see it as much as I thought we might last night, I do still believe that Malik Scott is helping him. He's creating a weapon that should have been created a very long time ago. That's what I say about Deontay Wilder. I do have a quick little highlight of I want to show it because what I wanted to talk about is I thought that no matter how long this fight went, we would see everything that we needed to know about Deontay Wilder moving forward. Can we show the clip real quick? What we see is him boxing from the outside. We see long punches, only a few that were thrown, but we see the long punches, but we see him. He said, I want to be mobile, agile, and hostile. And he was mobile, agile, and hostile. He was very confident, very poised. I liked how relaxed he looked in the ring. This double jab right here, nice little straight jab right there. And that was all we got of the highlights, but we could see that he's been working on some things. And no matter who's in the ring with him, he now has a game plan in terms of, this is how I operate, you beat it. And I think his fights with Fury, he was too reactive. He never really was on the front foot and in control of Tyson Fury. That's Tyson Fury. I don't think there's anyone who can control Tyson Fury. But moving forward, outside of Frank Sanchez, I really don't care who it is in the ring with Deontay Wilder, especially Anthony Joshua. I love that fight. I think that Deontay Wilder now knows he's found his identity. He found what he wants to do beyond being a big one-punch knockout artist. We got that last night, but I think if that punch doesn't land, or that punch lands and it doesn't have that effect, we still continue to see Deontay move around the ring, use the ring, set up the jab, set up the 1-2s, and eventually he was going to connect with something big.
For Deontay and going from last night and then going back to the Fury trilogy, there's situations in sports and in life where somebody does something and you think, oh, okay, I could probably do that too. Like you see somebody like we go to Sky Zone, somebody does a flip and dunks the basketball. We're like, oh, okay, he did that. I can do that too. And you try it and it's like, oh, it's not that easy. Like Fury, what Fury did, I think Helenius was like, okay, I'll press him. He pressed him and he got laid out. So I think what that does is A, shows how good Tyson Fury is, and B, it shows how damn good Deontay Wilder is. Like he's that good. And he said it after the fight. He makes the heavyweight division shake. He's the guy.
Hey, shout out to Deontay Wilder. You know, we see him around sometimes. He got security. When you walk around with that, you can drop Deontay Wilder in the middle of a war, and it's like dropping a nuke. He's coming back alive. Like, bro, you don't need no dang security. You walking with a walking nuke.
What did Cameron say? Bodyguard for what? I'd rather shoot. Like Deontay Wilder. Like, man, he's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's like he could literally, like I told Sean. Well, we know we spoke on here. I wanted him to get some rounds in, but it's like. Bro, I could be boxing, but if I accidentally, because it's like he didn't fully extend it.
What if
I
you
made a
caught
mistake and threw it. I didn't mean to throw it.
Yeah, wait a second. That's hilarious.
But I made a mistake and I threw it. I didn't mean. It's like when you're throwing a pitch, like trying to, and you like try to bring it back.
You're like, oh,
it's too late.
Yep.
And as hard as he worked in camp, which we heard over and over and over how hard he worked, you don't need to go in the ring and have a hard night at work. All you need to do is go in there, do your job, remind everybody who you are. I'm going home. I'll see you in a couple months. Yeah. Don't let 6 months go by without getting back in the ring. Deontay Wilder this October, you still need to be back in the ring by January. Okay. Don't waste everything that you've done in preparation to get to that fight. You use that fight to catapult yourself into the next fight. And I really, even at this point, especially with him saying, hey, I want 3 more years, I want 6 to 9 fights. If you put on big performances, we want to see you against the champions. We want to see you reclaim your position as the king of the heavyweight division. But if along the way you decide to be patient and just get in the ring with whoever's available and whoever says they'll get in the ring with you, I'm completely fine with that, because the thing I don't think he's really considered right now at this point is that was an easy night against a C+ level fighter, B- level fighter. You talk about Anthony Joshua, I'll be honest, B- fighter. You're talking about Usyk, who's an A+ fighter. You're talking about Frank Sanchez, who's an A+ fighter. You're talking about Andy Ruiz, who's a B+ fighter.
I'm not sure I can let you get the Anthony Joshua B-, Frank Sanchez A+ off, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's a while.
That's a little much. That's a little.
So
that's how you feel right now?
Is a C+ fighter?
No, come on, man. Don't you can't just do my guy AJ like that. Come on, man.
He had some losses.
No, I'm not even talking about the losses.
The performance.
You've got losses. You don't have an identity in the ring. You don't have a coach in the ring because you changed coaches. You don't know yourself. So if you don't know yourself, you start at a B. And we'll work from there.
Go ahead and make your point. I disagree with the
disrespect.
The grading. That is disrespect.
If Deontay Wilder,
you own one today. You must be sick.
My point is, if Deontay Wilder is talking about 6 to 9 more fights, and he's talking about 3 more years, he can't be talking about fighting those guys back to back, because then now you space out camp, fight, recovery, and it goes a little bit further, which means now you're looking at maybe 2 fights a year. You're looking closer at maybe 4 to 6 fights in that span of 3 years, opposed to the 6 to 9 that he's talking about.
And Deontay,
does he have a problem with Andy Ruiz and his fast hands? Because I feel like that's the only thing. Damn,
flattens it.
What round, Carson? You want to get bold?
You saw what happened yesterday.
What round, Carson? Oh, you say you saw what happened last night?
He stops Andy Ruiz within the first 3 rounds.
Dang, I thought I was trying to give my man Andy a shot.
Nah. I like Andy
What about
Ruiz.
the fast hands?
The one thing I'm going to say
what
is
about the sneakers?
Throw as many hands as you want. Throw as many fast hands as you want to. But
the thing I will say is he cannot be afraid to throw. Guys who are long and against guys who like to get on the inside, a lot of times they're scared to throw because they know once I extend the punch, the guy gets to the inside, I got nothing. So the one thing Deontay can afford is to be afraid to throw because he doesn't want Andy Ruiz to get on the inside or get up on him. He's got to work really strong, really fast from the outside, and he can't allow Andy Ruiz to get up on him.
And Andy better be in tip-top shape.
I think it's a good fight. I think it's a competitive fight, and I'm pretty sure Deontay Wilder wins that fight.
I think the good thing with Deontay, going to what you were mentioning about not holding out for the top fighters, is whether he fights any of those guys that's in like the top 10, nobody's going to be like, I don't really want to watch Deontay Wilder fight. Because he can knock anybody out at any point. So it's like,
and that's my point.
Yeah,
so
that's
my point.
Sometimes he's not somebody
you
that
sacrifice.
Yeah,
that greatness for entertainment. You know what I mean? And that's the thing with boxing. It's like you want to put on great, entertaining fights, but then you're gonna have to sacrifice one guy losing their O, and you're gonna have to sacrifice one guy maybe getting hurt and not being able to get the full potential and all those things. So yeah, it's a fine line, and I want to see him back in the ring in January.
And
I don't give a damn who it's against.
And I don't care where it is because Deontay Wilder's going to bring the people out.
Hey, bring the
You
boys
going?
up.
Am I going? If it
New
were
York?
someplace,
And
not
I
in
thought-
New York, but if it were
thought he
someplace
was
I wanted
gonna
to go.
say, I don't give a damn where it is because I'm going to be there.
Oh.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
He's somebody where he's so popular. He's such a talented fighter. I think he's just such a great guy. People are going to show up. I think if he fights, you give him a fight. What if he fights in Alabama? What if they somehow fight at like Alabama Stadium? Or I'm not sure if there's a basketball arena there. Like you give him a home, you give him a homecoming fight. He fights. He could fight in Atlanta. He could fight in Texas, Florida, New York, California, like Vegas, anywhere.
So what if he goes on a run, manages to get the belts from Usyk, gets Fury back in the ring, clips him, get out of there? We forgive everything. We forgive those two losses. Because if I'm him, I'm a Juan Marquez to Manny Pacquiao. I'm out. You'll never see me again.
I
got my payback.
Yeah, you do because what
And
you,
he could
what
do
you
that.
do is you say, hey, you had not reached your potential when you fought Tyson Fury all 3 times when you fought them. Now, yes, you're a little older, but now you've reached your full potential, and at your fullest potential, you beat Tyson Fury. You are great. You had a moment where you weren't great. You reached greatness exactly where you needed to. Congratulations. Go sell off in the sunset.
Even a couple other guys.
This
thinking.
is the port away.
Oh, is that it?
No.
Yeah, that's not it. But in the other ones, like Chisora, Dillian White, like really any of those guys. You're telling me you don't want to see Deontay? I'll take him against any of those guys. We're letting Fury fight Chisora allegedly coming up soon.
Third fight, huh?
If I'm being honest.
Here we go.
The one thing that does worry me is a fighter with a busy work rate, because I don't know how Deontay would handle that. I don't know how he would respond to it.
I think no matter how high the work rate is, just takes one.
It could be a half of one, as we seen last night.
Yeah. Have we ever seen Deontay Wilder? I know we're running long. Have we ever seen him get a knockout with an uppercut?
Not that I can
Have
remember.
we ever seen him? Yeah.
Did he drop Fury with an uppercut?
Possibly.
No, I don't remember.
Yeah. Guys, answer in the comments.
Because moving forward, I really do think that, you guys with higher work rates, you got to have the full arsenal.
I like the footwork I saw yesterday.
It can't be just
I think if somebody has a high work rate and they're coming at him, he just creates enough distance.
Luis Ortiz, somebody said. Was that up? Was that when he sent them back to
the
Lala?
last one? The last fight was a right hand, straight right hand.
Yeah, Ortiz won. Uppercut.
Fair enough.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say he's just got power, man. I don't give a damn what hand or what punch he's throwing. He's just got power.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I do appreciate all y'all in the comments. I know y'all end up just kind of conversing.
Yeah, if he
with
cooks y'all,
everybody
cook him
else.
back.
No, he's saying
If he cook,
every episode he says
I do.
gets you guys in the
Anytime
comments.
I want to.
Doesn't get you guys in the comments.
I don't. What we're gonna do, especially when we really blast the Patreon, put that up on the screen one time real quick. When we get the Patreon going, that's one thing we are definitely 100%.
You know what, Sean? You remind me of that. In real life, you take care of your kids, but you're like that daddy that always say, "Hey, I'm coming to get you this weekend." Yeah, it's like you like that with our fans.
You're like Will Smith's dad on Fresh Prince.
Yeah, you never.
How come you don't want me, man?
Yeah, why you don't want the fans, man? Why you don't want the fans in the comments?
Hey, that was a hell of an episode.
Yeah.
Right there.
If you don't get choked up on that, even if you have, I have a great relationship with my dad. I feel like even that I was like, damn, does my dad want me? Like, damn, that was an excellent moment. And
while your dad holding you, carrying you, pushing you on the monkey bars.
well, and the best was that Will Smith said that R.I.P. Uncle Phil, that he was really trying to get it out of him. And then he said, I think when they nailed that, he said, now that's acting. And he was like, yeah, there you go. But I'm also, for anyone in the comments, I'm not back. So just don't get used to that. I know there was a lot of people that were really excited, which I appreciate. But yeah, I'm not back. I was just lending my helping hand for a couple weeks.
Hey, look what I just put in the comments, guys.
Boy.
Look what Anthony did. No, I ain't tell you.
You say
look.
I'm back? Yeah, I'm definitely
No,
looking.
no. I ain't tell you. Look.
Look, Carson stays so far ahead. You'll never get Carson.
He said Carson back. Yeah, but no, I was here. I appreciate the love. I also don't crave it. Like, I don't need it. I appreciate it. Anyone, that's appreciated, you like that. But yeah, keep watching the show. So for anyone that says I'm gonna stop watching the show, keep watching the show.
Because Carson's gonna keep coming back. It's like it's like that substitute teacher. You get like 10 times a year. Carson gonna be like 50 times a month.
And we got Mr. Snuffleupagus over there. You have any motivation for this week?
Hey, no. You need to get that checked out for you land anywhere in Vegas.
And also, happy early birthday.
Oh yeah, it's your
birthday coming up.
When's your birthday?
Thursday?
Somebody gave me
Allegedly?
a Bible yesterday for my birthday. Well, I don't think it was for my birthday. I think they knew they were gonna see me and they gave me a Bible. I thought that was love.
It was like a new edition of the Bible. Same old thing.
No. Yes, same old thing. Yeah.
What if somebody got a Bible and there was a plot twist in there? That would be crazy. Like, go ahead. Motivation.
A lot of people, and I love when I get to do the traveling with the podcast, and we get to do the lives. We get to see like all of the fans who have just been fans of me over the years. XYZ. The question that was asked yesterday during the barbershop show was, would you ever come back? I said no. They said, what about Floyd? If Floyd offers you something for an expedition, I said, I really don't think so. And everybody said, what if the money's right? We already know the money's going to be right. I really don't think I'm like 99.9% sure I'm never going to get back in the boxing ring.
And Ant and I make up the other 0.01%.
That's why I told him in the box. That's why I told him.
I got Gary Russell right here next to me. He said, that's dumb. Yeah. I'm sorry, but that's dumb. And it's because he knows where we come from. I did this my entire life. Yeah, I could train for 8 weeks to probably now it would take me 3 months and get ready for something and go out there and do it. But I don't want to do that, right? The other side of this whole story is I had so many people walk up to me recently, this week, today, yesterday, last night. Everybody has said, we really appreciate the motivational messages that you give at the end of your shows. Even along the way, all of the guys on the show, we pulling stuff from everybody. Thank you for creating this podcast. Somebody said last night, you don't understand. It's black guys like me that we need this. And I thank you for kind of leading the way and giving us opportunities to see something positive. And so it led me to today's conversation I'm having with somebody again where was kind of complimenting me and thanking me for the things that we do on the podcast. I said, that's it right there. Why would I come back to boxing when I have an opportunity to live in my purpose daily, weekly, doing this podcast? If I leave this podcast to go train for X amount of weeks, there's no telling who may need a motivational message at the end of one of my shows to get them through the end of the week or get them through the week that they just had or to get them through the week that they're about to have. I am living in my purpose. I love what I'm doing with my life. I love my life in general. I love everything I've been able to accomplish, everything that I've been able to do. And one of the things I love most is that I've really been able to touch people and touch hearts, touch minds, affect people in a positive way, whether that was in the ring, on this podcast, on the streets, whatever the case may be. I'm extremely content with my life. I have no intentions on coming back to the boxing ring. I really do appreciate when people ask and they contemplate, they try to, convince me that I should come back. It's all fun, but at the end of the day, right now and forever, I intend to live in my purpose. And I do believe that God made me to be a helper, to be a giver, to be a motivator, to be an inspiration, and all of those things. So the most motivational message today, find your purpose and live in it. And don't allow anyone, anything to deter you from what you want to do. I didn't allow anything or anyone to deter me from becoming the world champion that I became. And I'm definitely not going to allow anything or anyone to deter me from the champion that I live in daily now, as a motivational speaker, as a life coach, as a father, as a husband, as a friend, as everything that I become to this world. Thank you all for watching the Porterway podcast. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, people asking you to come back is like people asking me to come back to the podcast. They want you to fight. They want me just to talk about the fight. Yeah. And I'll close on Guardians, hopefully closing out the Yankees tonight. And if not, closing them out tomorrow.
I'm going.
Please don't go. I beg of you. As a friend, I beg of you not to go and jinx them. The Guardians lose anytime Shawn has any relation to them. So don't even look at the TV today.
First thought was when I got my Uber, you could get the twofer. The Guardians are playing today. I said, oh, you're right. Oh, no, Carson's not going to let that happen. I'm not
text him yesterday. I said, don't even look at a TV. You got anything, Ant?
Nah, I would say, everybody's going through something. And I know sometimes you don't want to get up. You don't want to keep going. You got to find your why. I get up every day. People say, man, why are you so happy? I get up every day because I think to myself, man, my problems people wish they had. So someone always has it better, worse than you. So get up, man. You got to keep pushing. Keep smiling. You never know that person. You can say hi to somebody with a smile on your face. That can change that person's whole day. I'm that random guy that will see you in the store and say, hey, man, you swagged out. Hey, girl, you looking good. Because you just never know what that does for somebody, man. Just little things. Be the effect. Be the change in the world you want to see, man.
Living off borrowed time, the clock ticks faster. RPMF Doom.
Bingo.
Oh, that's my guy.
Boom,
This
boom.
is the Porterway? Oh, wait.
No, there's no way. Keep him faded out. He's gone.
No. He done.
Are we back?
Oh, yeah, we back. We back.
Are we back?
Yeah.
Oh, we back? We back.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
I want to thank Blue Wire Studios for having us. And I want to thank them for putting us in the Wynn Hotel and Casino. I'll be back next week.
There you go.
Porterway.
Oh, wow.
I gotta make sure we get them drops in. Smooth.